Tornado warnings now in effect for the far northwestern portion of the Show Me State. So you folks up towards northwest Missouri, you got a tornado warning now until about 6:45. Again, to stress, nothing threatening Kansas City, but as we take you further up towards the north, here's the cells that we're watching. We're going to stay on now wall to wall until 6:45 with continuous weather coverage. Atchison, Nottoway, Quitman, down towards Skidmore and Maitland. The cell in particular is right in through there. It's in the northeast portion of Holt County, so northeastern Holt County, Nottoway County. It technically includes Maryville right on the fringe for that tornado warning, but you could clearly see Skidmore is in the path of this cell. I'm going to check in here with Jacob in just a couple of minutes. No reports, I don't believe, of anything on the ground, but it is producing some ping pong ball size hail, and it is moving off towards the north and east at perhaps close to about 50 miles an hour. So I want to put a storm track on this for you. And for you folks in Skidmore, if you live around the Quitman area, go ahead and take cover from this cell, especially Maitland as well. I want you to get down to the lowest part of your home, some sort of interior room, a bathroom, something that you're well protected in terms of any potential damaging winds that may be associated with this storm. The storm track right now takes it towards Skidmore by about 6:10, Pickering by about 6:35, and Hopkins by about 6:44. And again, this is our first tornado warning within our viewing area, and this involves northwestern Missouri. During the 5 o'clock news, we were telling you how the northwestern portion of Missouri is actually closest to the core of the storm, which is up there across Nebraska. It's been producing tornadoes up there over the last several hours, some devastating, some really bad tornadoes in the Lincoln area, in the Omaha area, and these storms are closest to that upper level storm system, so they may have a little bit more of a tendency to do a little rotating, and that's what we're seeing right now across far northwestern Missouri. So again, for you folks up towards Nottoway County, around Maryville, hopefully it'll stay just to your north and west, but I want you to be prepared to take cover if you need to here very shortly. Quitman, Skidmore, Maitland, that's the area that we're most concerned about for a possible tornado. Let's keep an eye also on that cell south of Mound City, because once one goes, another one can go as well. So let's watch for that. Let's take you down to our south. This cell, yeah, I'm getting worried about the folks down across southern Bates County. All right, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning for about another half hour, 45 minutes or so. I don't like that at all. All right, this would be just around and maybe just south of Hume. All right, it's definitely got a little inflow notch. Michelle's been tracking this for us. This is moving east-northeast. So you folks in Rich Hill, watch that cell carefully. You're still technically under a severe thunderstorm warning. The tornado warning down towards Vernon County, that's out of our viewing area. All right, so it's right close to that county line. So again, for you folks down across far southern Bates County, far northern Vernon County, that's the cell that we're concerned about. And again, it's moving off towards the east-northeast at around 40 miles an hour. And again, to stress, nothing threatening the Kansas City metropolitan area right now. I want to get over to meteorologist Jacob Lanier. We've both been keeping an eye on this. Michelle is on the road down chasing that storm as far as the southern portion of Bates County goes. Let's go over to Jacob with some additional information. Go ahead.
Joe, so again, kind of the wider view here showing that really the storm activity here with these two tornado warnings, one again, they're up in northwestern Missouri, and another one down south of Butler towards Nevada. So here in the Kansas City metro, there's really no storm activity to track for us right now, which is a good thing. And hopefully that trend holds. This orange box is the tornado watch that continues until 9 o'clock here for the Kansas City metro. So still up towards the north, off towards the south is where we really have all that activity. So again, this is the reason why we're doing continuous tornado coverage for you right now, is this tornado warning up in northwestern Missouri. It had been confirmed on the ground back near Falls City, Nebraska, and then it lifted, and we were watching behind the scenes, the storm chaser up there watching a wall cloud. It has touched back down now as it moved over Interstate 29. It is now kind of tracking up towards Maryville and Pickering here over the next couple of minutes. So this tornado warning goes until 6:30, including Atchison, Holt, and Nottoway counties there. So we're going to forecast track this out for us now. It's moving up towards the north and east at about 55 miles per hour. So the storm's moving pretty quickly, and I think within the next 45 minutes, this will be out of this state up into Iowa and no longer our concern. But for right now, we need to keep an eye on this as it is approaching Maryville. So the rotation there is about to enter Nottoway County, moving up towards the north and the east. Here's those ETAs. Skidmore at 616, Maryville 628, Pickering 634, Hopkins at 640, and Gaynor at 641, and that's going to be up towards the Iowa state border at that point. So right now, if you're in Maryville, in Nottoway County, you have a tornado warning in effect until 6:30, and it's best to seek shelter now in that tornado safe place. That's going to be an interior room, lowest floor of your home or apartment and away from windows and doors, ideally a basement if you have that in your house or neighborhood. Okay, so I want to zoom in here, and one of the issues that we have up here in northwestern Missouri is the fact that the radar here in Kansas City is so far away. We can see some rotation, there it is, nearing Skidmore. So this is now from the Omaha radar, and as I zoom in a little bit more, I want to query and see how fast these wind speeds are. And that'll give us an idea of the strength of this rotation. So 30 miles per hour away from the radar, 23 miles per hour toward the radar. That's 50, 55 mile per hour rotation that's approaching Skidmore there and about to cross Missouri Highway 113. So again, if you're in Nottoway County, this is tracking north. Here's Maryville up at the top right corner of our screen. This is going to be heading in your direction over the next 15 minutes. Joe, do you have an update for us on this storm?
So we've been keeping an eye on that storm that's down there in Bourbon County, or actually Vernon County now, and we've been tracking it. It does appear that the National Weather Service has just issued a tornado warning, for the southern portion of Bates County. Southern portions of Bates County now under a tornado warning until at least 6:45. We've been giving you a heads up on that for the last about maybe half hour to 45 minutes that something could be coming in terms of southern Bates County, and that's what we're seeing. Again, it's that cell right there. So that's a brand new tornado warning that's down the I-49 corridor, down across the southern portion of Bates County. I want to go ahead and kind of zoom in for you on this one. We'll take you right on down to it, and again, that area right in through there, that's the concern. And here's Butler, all right? This will probably pass south of Butler, but boy, look at this Rich Hill thing. You could see the inflow right in through there, all right? So it looks like we've got a couple of things going on. We've got a tornado warning down to our south. There's a new circulation developing. If you live in the Rock Hill area, I want you to go ahead and take cover from this storm. Get into a basement, some sort of interior room, lowest floor of your house. I don't want you to be upstairs. I want you to be downstairs. Again, because of a radar indicated tornado, all right, that's just towards the west of Rich Hill. All right, I'm going to try to put a storm track on this for you as well, just to kind of give you an idea, the approximate time that that thing could be affecting southern portions of Bates County. That would be Rich Hill by 6:17 and Prairie City by about 6:34. So this general area, southern Bates County, that's our new tornado warning that's just been issued, and this is going to stay in effect until about 6:30, 6:45. It may not live that long, and if it doesn't, they'll drop the warning and we'll give you the all clear as far as that goes. Again, other areas that are under tornado warnings are down to our south and also up to our north. Let's get back over to Jacob. Dual coverage of the two tornadic storms that are out there. Jacob.
Yeah, Joe. So again, Joe's down there in Bates County looking at the south storm. I'm up here in northwestern Missouri looking at this northern storm, and it's moving quickly and it's approaching Maryville. So again, Maryville, Missouri here in Nottoway County, you're under a tornado warning until 6:30. So that means the time is now to seek your tornado precautions. We have had reports that this tornado may be trying to touch down within any moment. So if it's not already on the ground, it could do so at any time. And the rotation is right over Skidmore, and it's tracking northeast and might clip the northwest side of the city of Maryville. So again, here in Nottoway County, if you have students, kids up here in Maryville, make sure to call them, text them, let them know if they're not weather aware here this evening that it's about time to seek shelter there, or it is time now as the rotation is approaching. So I'm watching the rotation here as it is passing over Skidmore, and the best view of the rotating winds is from the radar up in Omaha. And here it is. It's where the greens and reds come together. And again, we're looking really high up in the atmosphere, so it's hard to completely see that this is the surface rotation. However, this is a good indicator of the rotation in the winds in this storm. So now this has gone up from when I just showed you this about 5 minutes ago. Now we're seeing winds away from the radar at 50 miles per hour, winds toward the radar at about 40 miles per hour. So that's 90 mile per hour rotation, several thousand feet up, but still that's increased rotation in the last 5 minutes as this tornadic storm is passing over Skidmore, Missouri, tracking up towards Maryville, and again, probably going to be crossing Missouri Highway 113 there in Nottoway County within the next couple of minutes. So I want to put a forecast track on this. Again, it's moving up towards the north and the east at about 55 miles per hour. And again, could impact Maryville here pretty soon. Yep.
There has been a weak tornado report from Skidmore.
Okay, yeah, so this rotation now that is strengthened in Skidmore is now on the ground, which here we go now is why this warning box is flashing pink. So this is a now observed or confirmed tornado on the ground in Nottoway County, Missouri, heading near Maryville. It's too close for comfort here. Maryville, you have maybe 10 minutes. I think this storm is moving pretty quickly. It's picked up pace now 60 miles per hour. And I want to make sure that we're not seeing any debris on radar. There's a potential lowering here. I'm not sold that this is debris, Joe, because we're so high up. This is from the Omaha radar, but something that we need to be paying attention to very closely. And again, the rotation right over Skidmore. Joe, do you have any more updates on this storm, or do you want to go back south for a moment?
Yeah, we're going to take folks down to our south. No more updates on that northwestern Missouri storm, but again, we do have a confirmed report of a weak tornado around the Skidmore area. But again, that's something that could grow. So you folks up towards Skidmore, please make sure you're taking cover from that storm. That's up there towards the Nottoway County area. Tornado warnings in effect for a couple of counties in far northwestern Missouri, and also one of our counties down to our south. This will be down towards southern portions of Bates County. But again, to stress for the metro, nothing coming our way. There are no signs of anything bad happening. There are no developing thunderstorms that we could tell at this point. So for the metro, so far, so good. Got storms north, storms south. And again, we'll take you right on down to this southern portion of our viewing area storm. Here's the rotation history of the cells. These were down across Bourbon County, coming out of Kansas, moving into northwestern portions of Vernon County. And again, you could kind of draw a straight line, if you will, and you could see why they've gone ahead and issued that tornado warning in effect for the Rich Hill area, other portions of southeastern portions of Bates County, and this is going to continue for about the next half hour or so. To the north of that, and just for your bearings, here's Butler, here's Lone Oak, and this is out towards Hume. The circulation is passing south of Hume, south of Lone Oak, south of Butler. It'll probably stay towards the south of Montrose if it continues. Got a new tornado warning coming out right now, as a matter of fact. This is down towards northwestern Vernon County, and again, this is moving into southeastern portions, south central, southeastern portions of Bates County. I wanted to show you what this looks like from a velocity standpoint, and we could clearly see the rotation near and just south of Rich Hill. You folks in Rich Hill, I want you to take cover from this storm. No doubt about it. All right, we don't know if there's a real tornado on the ground at this point, but this looks very bullish from a radar standpoint. And again, you folks in Rich Hill, take cover from this storm. Likewise, over towards Prairie City into the southeastern portion of Bates County. Again, northwestern portions of Missouri, confirmed tornado on the ground near Skidmore. Nothing going on right now around the Kansas City area. Let's take you back up towards the northwestern portion of the Show Me State. Jacob.
Okay, thanks, Joe. So again, we have a confirmed tornado right now that is on the ground just passing over Skidmore, Missouri. This is a tornado warning for Nottoway County until 6:30, and it does include Nottoway, Quitman, and Maryville. So again, Maryville, Nottoway, Pickering, Quitman need to be seeking your tornado precautions right now. That's away from windows and doors, interior home or apartment on the lowest level you can get, as this storm is moving up towards the north and the northeast at about 55 miles per hour. So this is the tornado warning. Again, it's an observed tornado warning, which means that there's a spotter that is watching this storm, and sees the funnel touching the ground, which is how we get a tornado confirmed, when that funnel reaches the surface. Watching the wind speeds here from our Omaha radar, that's the closest to this site, and it looks like, again, we're looking at the storm here several thousand feet up. Right now getting about 50-mile-per-hour rotation here just north of Skidmore. The circulation has probably just crossed Missouri 113 and about to cross Missouri 46. So from Maryville to the west, we don't want to be traveling on 46 highway because that is where the tornado is going to cross here and could cause some damage if people are on the roadways up there. So here's the storm right now, tracking it out for you. I want to update this just to make sure that we're giving accurate times here. It's going to be arriving in Maryville within 10 minutes or less. So again, now is the time in Maryville, if you are not already, to seek tornado precautions away from windows, interior room, lowest level of your home. Pickering 636, and technically the community of Pickering not included in this warning polygon, but it's just outside of it, and the storm is still confirmed on the ground. Orisburg by 640, Gaynor, and up into Iowa after 645. So this warning continues here until 630. We're watching the rotation. And again, here on our Fox 4 radar, the red's going away from the radar up in Omaha, the green's going towards, and that's how we have this counterclockwise spin in the mid and upper levels of this storm that is reaching the ground, and that's how we're getting a tornado. So notice the pink box here on the outside is flashing pink. That is why this is a confirmed tornado. That's how we have our radar showing this, and a wider view showing that this is tracking up towards the north. So again, Nottoway County, seek your tornado precautions. We also have tornado warnings south of the Kansas City metro down in Bates County. And Joe, you're keeping an eye on that storm.
Rotation on the cell that's down towards southern Bates County is tightening up just a little bit. Just wanted to kind of put a little synopsis together for you here. Tornado warnings continue for Holt in Nottoway County, Maitland, Maryville, Nottoway, Skidmore. All right, and we did have a report of a tornado, a weak one, apparently, near the Skidmore area. That goes until 6:30. For the folks down towards Rich Hill, I want you folks in Rich Hill to be in your safe spot right now, all right, because we see signs that the cell down there is getting stronger. All right, that tornado warning continues until about 6:45 or so. And further south of that, down into Vernon County, radar indicated rotation down there. Likewise for the southern portion of Bates County. All right, so no reports of anything actually on the ground down there right now, but it's great to have eyes kind of keeping an eye on what's going on with these cells. We've decided that as we tried to track which storm would probably be the biggest one, we decided to send Michelle down towards the south and west of Kansas City. She has now moved down towards that cell further south. Michelle, where are you and what are you guys going through right now?
All right, Joe, we are on the north side of this storm. This is a cell that we have been tracking from the Kansas side, and as that crossed over state line onto the Missouri side, as you have mentioned, Rich Hill, definitely a targeted area with that very well-defined notch on radar and quite the velocity scan that I am seeing as well. As that continues to rotate, you know, we saw that produce definitely a funnel cloud at the very least, if not a potential tornado. Again, we were unable to see if that was actually reaching the ground because of the tree line. But currently we are moving away from the Butler area. We are headed towards Appleton City. We are getting so close to the leading edge of the storm. I'm starting to see the skies lighten up quite a bit out ahead in front of us. And we are going to make a break here for Appleton City so that we can get out of the rain, the heavy rain on the north side, and also some of the hail that we have seen. It's been smaller hail, it hasn't been large hail, but we're trying to get out just barely ahead of this so we can get eyes on the storm as that is moving by to our south. We're running parallel with the storm as that is moving away from Rich Hill. And we are on the north side of that along 52, again headed towards Appleton City. So that is our current status at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and send it back on to you guys in the studio so you can continue to cover the warnings and update people on timelines and time frames, because I know we have warnings to the north as well as the one that we are on currently.
All right, so we've kind of got a split situation going on, as Michelle mentioned. We've got warnings north and we've got warnings south. We're still keeping an eye into northwestern Missouri. We have seen a confirmed touchdown about 15 minutes ago, give or take, around the Skidmore area. No reports of any damage, at least so far. There are chasers chasing that storm. There are also some folks watching this storm. Again, this is down towards southern portions of Bates County, northern Bourbon County, and you can see this rotation product that we've got on our radar showing rotation close to the Rich Hill area right now. It may pass just south of Rich Hill, but I'm not comfortable enough saying that, in terms of set it in stone. So I want you folks in the Rich Hill area to go ahead and take cover from this storm to be on the safe side. This will pass well south in terms of the rotational aspect of the storm, well south of Lone Oak. So if you live in Lone Oak, you're just probably dealing with some heavy rain, maybe some hail, and likewise up towards Butler. This is passing well south of you. All right, so if you draw a straight line, you kind of see where Michelle is heading towards. She's heading towards the Appleton City area to see if she could intercept the storm that's moving through the southern portion of Bates County. So it's a healthy storm, and that's why we continue to have our tornado warning in effect for southern portions of Bates County until 6:45. Our velocity product is showing still some rotation down here. This is very close to the I-49 highway, or interstate, I should say, very close to the Rich Hill area, and now starting to shift just a little bit off towards the east of Rich Hill. So you folks in Rich Hill, give it about another 5 or 10 minutes. If you are in your safe spot, and I still want you to be in your safe spot, you'll be able to come out of your safe spot, because it looks like that's going to be the main part of that particular cell. And you can still see there's still some circulations going on, but this is down towards the northern reaches of Vernon County. So quite a bit going on. A storm track for you on this one takes it towards Prairie City by about 6:41 and Hudson by about 6:53. Hudson is right there, far, far, far northeastern or eastern tip, if you will, of Bates County. Again, the circulation would be right about there. So hopefully it passes north of Prairie City, which it looks like it will, but I'm not comfortable 100% with that right now. But again, it's moving off towards the east-northeast at close, give or take, to about 40 miles an hour. Again, for those of you in the Kansas City area, you're watching us, you're like, hey, we've got sunshine. Are there bad storms coming our way? At this point, there's nothing showing up of any concern around the Kansas City area, and we've got about another hour or two tops for our severe weather window for Kansas City. So hopefully we're going to avoid the worst with storms north and storms south. Talked about the southern storm. Now let's go ahead and focus on what's going on up across northwestern Missouri. Again, we're kind of tag teaming two cells, two separate pieces of coverage. Jacob.
Yeah, that's right, Joe. And I'm watching this storm closely because it is ominously close to Maryville in northwest Missouri State. And our producer Rachel's pulled up a great video feed of northwest Missouri State. Here it is right now. And you can kind of see the camera shaking there. And I'm not exactly sure which direction this is facing, but we're on northwest Missouri State's campus, which, by the way, is on the northwest side of Maryville. And you can see the winds there blowing the pine trees a little bit, the dark clouds there off in the distance behind those trees. But with this tree line, we're probably not going to see anything reaching the ground. Storm spotters said this was on the ground in Skidmore in Nottoway County, and within the last 2 minutes, they said it's lifted and it's now a funnel cloud, but it could still touch down again at any moment, and we still have this tornado warning observed. As according to the National Weather Service down in Pleasant Hill. So there's the storm. It's now kind of passing Maryville just up towards the north and west. And when we look at the rotation here, there it is, just now on the north side of 46 Highway. So again, northwest Missouri State right about here. The tornadic circulation is not far away from it, but it continues to move up towards the north there towards Pickering. So we're now at 6:30. Which is when this tornado warning was set to expire, and it looks like it has expired, and it looks like the National Weather Service has now replaced it with a severe thunderstorm warning here in Nottoway County, and this is going to go until 6:45. So there's still the potential of a tornado. It looks like what touched down in Skidmore may have lifted, and there's a funnel cloud now that's just passing by northwest Missouri State heading up towards the Pickering area. But it's still a rotating storm, and I wanted to show you the storm reports here of what was reported a few minutes ago, which is why it became an observed tornado. So storm spotters there from the fire department reported a weak touchdown. That was at 6:14 there in Holt County near Skidmore, kind of on the Holt side of town as it moves up towards the north. So this tornado warning has expired. We still have a tornado warning in Bates County, and Joe is keeping an eye on that storm.
Yeah, we've got a confirmed tornado according to the Rich Hill Fire Department down in southern portions of Bates County. So that's priority number one right now for areas south of Kansas City, and that concerns this cell. Here's the Rich Hill area. It looks like the worst of the cell is now pushing east of Rich Hill. Here's Lone Oak. It'll pass south of you. This is the far southern tip of Bates County. Here's the county line. And again, a confirmed tornado associated with this area right in through there. You could see the hook right in through there, moving off towards the east-northeast at roughly 35, close to 40 miles an hour. Michelle is heading towards Appleton City to try to intercept that. And it looks like that cell is heading towards the Appleton City area. So I want to kind of broaden out our view, and there's the area of rotation. So for you folks in Rich Hill, you're now safe, all right? It looks like the storm has passed off to your east. Again, there's Lone Oak, and the center of rotation is right in through there, all right? So I want to go ahead and see if I can put a storm track on this for you. First of all, I want to get a better view of where this storm is kind of moving towards. And again, for areas off towards the south of Kansas City, all right, we're talking southern portions of Bates County, the circulation center right in through there near Lone Oak or just towards the south of Lone Oak. That particular cell is moving off towards the east-northeast. So let's put a track on this for you. Again, right there, moving off east-northeast at around 35 to 40 miles an hour, heading towards Hudson by 6:51 and Appleton City by about 6:56. That's the area of concern that we've got right now, and that's a pretty beefy storm. And again, it does have a history now of producing a tornado, according to the Rich Hill Fire Department. Haven't heard of any damage in Rich Hill per se, but again, the circulation now is east of Rich Hill, so that's good news for the folks in Rich Hill. Hopefully you came through that in pretty good shape. But again, for southeastern portions of Bates County, that would probably pass north of Rockville. All right, but it is heading towards Appleton City, and this is the northwest corner of St. Clair County. So I want to give the folks in St. Clair County a little bit of a heads up that you may be placed under a tornado warning in the not too distant future. I want to show you what our tornado predictor is doing with this. And again, yeah, it's still showing the potential of some tornadic weather. And again, this is probably a little adjusted too far north. This is going to be a little further south. I want to put Appleton City more into this. So roughly in that corridor between Appleton City and Rockville into the northwest corner of St. Clair County, you folks, I want you to be prepared to go ahead and take cover. If you live southeastern portions of Bates County, go ahead and take cover from this storm right away, because again, it does have a history of producing a tornado according to the Rock Hill Fire Department. Don't want to forget about northwestern Missouri. Let's go ahead and take you up there. Here's Jacob.
Okay, thanks, Joe. And again, kind of this wider view. So the confirmed tornado that Joe was just tracking, just south of Butler, well south of the KC Metro. Here in Kansas City, we still have a tornado watch in effect till 9 o'clock, although, as we've been kind of highlighting, sinking air out towards Topeka has prevented storms from developing in Kansas and heading in our direction. So that's good news. Right now, I think that trend may continue. Here's the storm up near Maryville. The tornado warning was dropped, so we're now not as concerned about rotation there. The severe thunderstorm now north of Maryville, moving through Pickering. There's maybe some broad rotation in this, but it's 10 minutes away from the Iowa border, and then we're not going to be worried about that storm anymore. So this is moving away from us right now. The National Weather Service likely not to continue that. So that is good news up in northwestern Missouri that this tornado threat is likely coming to an end. So I do want to go back now into southern areas south of the Kansas City Metro as we continue to track here a confirmed tornado in southern Bates County. So this is Rich Hill heading up towards Appleton City and likely eventually going to head there into northern St. Clair and southern Henry County. So this is moving off towards the east at about 55 miles per hour. So when we put a forecast track on this, it's going to be heading up towards the east-northeast here, putting it in Appleton City around 6:50. So Appleton City, it's about time to seek shelter in your tornado safe place within the next few minutes. Johnson City there in northern St. Clair County about 6:55. Lowry City and Deepwater around 7 o'clock or so, and then towards Bethlehem at 7:30. 713. And again, we have team coverage on this. Michelle Bogowith actually tracking this storm. And Michelle, you've been tracking this storm for over 2 hours now.
Yes, Jerry and I have, and we are currently just a few miles out of Appleton City. I will tell you this, when we were coming eastward or eastbound on 52, there's a lot of trees. There is a pretty significant tree line, and we were able to see where that likely tornado or funnel is. And we are trying to get out far enough ahead of this to put ourselves in a good position so we don't get ourselves into a little trouble here, as that tornado warned storm is heading towards in between Rockville and Appleton City. I want to give you an idea of what we're looking at out ahead of our system. You can see there's a lot of cloud cover. It is extremely windy, and we are trying to just beat this to get out ahead of it so that we are able to actually have eyes on this potential tornado. Again, we're trying to get towards the city area where we can clear some of these trees and get a better visual. But let us go ahead and kind of get into position here, guys. And as soon as I visually see something to show, we will let you know immediately.
The circulation with that southern Bates County storm is about 7.5 miles or so, just a pinch north of due east from Rich Hill. So again, for you folks in Rich Hill, you are now safe from that tornadic circulation. And again, the Rich Hill Fire Department did report a confirmed touchdown. I'm not aware of the thing still being on the ground right this second, but we'll continue that tornado warning up until about 6:45 or so. And again, that is for southern portions of Bates County. It certainly still has a lot of inflow to it. You could clearly see the notch right in through there. That's what we're looking for during this type of situation. And as we've been telling you for the last several days, the atmosphere is primed for this type of stuff. So, you know, we've lucked out. Hopefully we'll continue to luck out here in Kansas City. There are no signs of anything bad happening or heading towards the metro. As a matter of fact, we'll probably go through the night dry. But for these two clusters of storms, northern Missouri and this one in particular, which is the only tornado warning we've got right now down across southern Bates County, this is still a big ticket item, and it's heading towards Appleton City. So like Michelle mentioned, she's dabbling in that area. This does also have the ability of producing hail. Typically, you see the larger hail north of the tornadic circulation, and that's what we're probably seeing right now up here towards the east of Lone Oak. And gotten reports, or actually gotten indications from radar, that we're looking at roughly quarter size to upwards of golf ball size hailstones coming down from this. So that's a big problem for the central portion of Bates County, and that's heading towards the Hudson area. So if you have a car outside in Hudson, Missouri, I want you to go ahead, if you have the ability, get it in a garage just to be, you know, on the safe side in case you got that hail coming your way. But again, the circulation that we're concerned about is right in through there, all right, just towards the east of Rich Hill by about 8 miles or so, and moving off towards the east-northeast. Again, an update to that, heading towards Hudson by about 6:53. Hudson by about 6:53 or so with that tornadic circulation that's moving off towards the east-northeast. They have dropped the tornado warning for Vernon County. And I keep coming back to Kansas City just because a lot of folks are understandably, you know, concerned about the heart of Kansas City, and a lot of folks have some storm anxiety about, you know, what we've been setting up for you over the past couple of days. And again, there's nothing threatening Kansas City at this point around the area. Still have some beefy thunderstorms up across northwestern Missouri. Thankfully, those storms are not tornado warned anymore, but there's still some circulations going on up there, and Jacob's got more information about that. Jacob.
That's right, Joe. And we actually have a new severe thunderstorm warning up here. So this is now moving across 71 highway, so through Maryville, over towards, say, Ravenwood, Hopkins, Conception Junction there in eastern Nottoway County here. This severe thunderstorm warning goes for another 5 minutes or so, and it looks like it's now being extended even further out towards the east, mainly for damaging winds and hail. But again, there has been some brief funnel reports with this as it's moving over Maryville, but no confirmed touchdowns. And because we have spotters with eyes on it, the National Weather Service is not going to issue a tornado warning until they see a funnel cloud about to touch the ground. So we have people watching this storm, just like we have Michelle Bogowith in Bates County watching the storm. So when we have eyes on storms, it's easier to issue warnings and communicate the exact threats as opposed to, say, in the middle of the night when we can't see the storms and we're kind of flying with radar only. So no tornado threat here in northern Missouri. I do want to go back into Bates County, where we still have this confirmed tornado warning. And it looks like that the National Weather Service office in Springfield has continued this into northern St. Clair County, which includes Appleton City, as this storm moves off towards the north and east. There's also a lot of lightning in this storm, which to me, when we see continued extreme lightning counts like this is a very healthy supercell. It's going to continue to at least try to produce a tornado as it moves through a very favorable environment. So Clinton, heading in your direction here pretty soon. I want to time out the core of this storm with all of this lightning and even some of that maybe penny to nickel size hail for you, as this is tracking off towards the north and east. So the tornado threat is probably a little further south from this core, but the hail core, the lightning core, heading towards Clinton there by 7:09 at the latest. So in the next 20, maybe 30 minutes, that's when this storm is going to be arriving up there in Henry County. So our rotation tracker continues to watch tight rotation with this storm as it is moving off here between Rockville and Appleton City. Again, Michelle's watching this storm, and let me know when Michelle maybe has a better angle of this view from our Fox 4 weather Jeep. She and Jerry chasing down there have a better view of this storm. But right now it's tracking up towards the north and the east, and this tornado warning, this new tornado warning for St. Clair County is now going to go. The observed tornado warning is going to end here in just a few minutes, and then the other tornado warning here in St. Clair County is going to go until 7:30. So we'll see if the National Weather Service in Pleasant Hill issues one for southern Henry County. It's kind of right on the border, Joe, and we're still watching the potential for it to touch down again if it's barely lifted here for a moment.
Yeah, so it's kind of an interesting setup down there. It's not the greatest environment down there at this point for a tornado, but it's good enough. And just to kind of rehash what we've kind of told you about over the last couple of days, the atmosphere is primed for something bad to happen. And we're getting a new tornado warning now coming in, as a matter of fact. Let me go ahead and see if we can pop that up. This brand new tornado warning just issued in the last couple of minutes. This is going to be in effect for, let me pop off over here. This will be in effect for southern Bates County. Let's see.
Bates and Henry until 7:30, yeah.
All right, so we'll get to that here in just a second. Again, for Kansas City, still nothing of concern. Couple of cumulus clouds, they may try, but right now, so far, so good. The tornado warnings that are in effect right now, and again, a brand new one just issued a couple of minutes ago. We're staying on the air through at least 7:30 for Bates, parts of Bates County, probably far southeastern Bates County, Henry County as well. All right, that would include Deepwater, Hudson, Montrose, and Rockville. All right. It's affecting about 1,600 people. St. Clair County is also a relatively new warning that coming out just a couple of minutes ago, as Jacob mentioned. That goes until 7:30. And the original warning that kind of started this process for the southern portion of our viewing area, that goes until about 6:45. So tornado warnings are in effect for areas south of Kansas City. We've been tracking cells up across northwestern Missouri as well, but the good news is those cells seem to have just turned into severe thunderstorms. Again, we'll keep an eye on any possible rotations up across northwestern Missouri, but so far so good. Again, the cell that was near Rich Hill, that did have a history of producing a confirmed tornado, according to the fire department there, and that is probably right about there. That seems to be where the circulation is. All right, this would be well east of Rich Hill and just towards the southwest of Appleton City. So now you folks in Appleton City want to go ahead and get you to a safe spot. Headed downstairs, an interior room of the house, closet, bathroom. Try to put as many walls as you can, away from the outdoors, just to be on the safe side as that rotation continues to move off towards the north and east. Let's put a track on it for you. And again, Appleton City is a concern, heading there by 6:57. So you've got about 10 minutes or so, all right, maybe a little less than that, to be in your safe spot. So you folks in Appleton City, far northwestern portions of St. Clair County, all right, I want you guys to go ahead and take cover from this cell. The rotation is very close to a small community called Pleasant Gap, I believe, down across east central portions of Bates County. Again, this is moving off towards the east-northeast. I want you folks in deep water to start thinking about this cell. It's about an hour away from you, maybe not that long, maybe about 45 minutes away from you. So for you folks in deep water, start paying attention to the cell. Likewise in Montrose, hopefully it'll stay south of here, of you folks. Here's 52 Highway connecting those two towns, and we'll track that as it moves off towards the east-northeast at around 35, close to 40 miles an hour. But again, for Kansas City, everything's so far looking pretty good. A lot of lightning with that cell down there, and maybe some pretty decent-sized hail. Inch, quarter-size hail, to upwards of golf ball-size hail. So again, severe thunderstorm warnings continue for a good part of Bates County just because of the hail. And now that tornado warning has been extended into southwestern Henry County and the northwestern portion of St. Clair County. Jacob.
Okay, yeah, Joe, and you were mentioning that hail threat with this tornado-warned storm down in Bates County, so I wanted to pinpoint that hail core for people. It's probably going to move into Montrose here, which is in southern Henry County here within the next 10 minutes. So hail moving in along with that rotation threat, and I'm just going to query the maximum hail size, possibly around an inch. So again, that's kind of quarter-sized, some potential maybe up to golf ball size hail with this storm as it moves through. But again, it's also rotating, and that's why this tornado warning is in effect until 7:30 now here for southern Henry County. So here's the rotation right now. It's between Lone Oak and Appleton City. Again, the greens are moving towards the radar, reds moving away, and I want to click on the winds here to show how strong these winds are. And this is pretty tight rotation here. 72 miles per hour, 27 miles per hour. We do the math. That's about 100 mile per hour rotation here, moving away and towards Appleton City, moving towards Montrose. So Michelle and Jerry are down tracking this storm in Bates and Henry County, and I think they are getting a close view now of the lowering the wall cloud. Michelle, what are you guys seeing?
Okay, Jacob, I just want to bring you guys up to date because we dropped south of Appleton City. As we saw, that was going to be lifting up towards Appleton City and Montrose because we want to be on the south side of this. It is directly in front of us. If you're looking at our camera right now, it's just to the right of that very large tree directly in front of our station vehicle. Now, we saw the lowering. It did appear that we could potentially have a tornado on the ground and visually see that. Again, the tree line is just making it rather difficult, but we could definitely see a very low wall cloud at the very least, if not a tornado on the ground. We are going to be watching this as this drives just to the north of our location, and Jerry's going to go ahead and get the handheld out so that we can visually keep an eye on things and continue to update people. But until we get confirmation and actually a very good visual, I will send it back to you all.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. So again, Michelle, Jerry down in our Fox 4 Storm Chaser Jeep and just south of Appleton City are watching this tornado warning. There's pretty tight rotation here as indicated by our Fox 4 rotation tracker, and there has been since Rich Hill where it touched down. So it might have lifted a little bit, but as Michelle was showing us, it's kind of hard to see on the horizon there. It's trying to touch down once again, and it's heading towards Appleton City and Deepwater. Deepwater, it's going to arrive near you in Missouri 13 Highway, say around 7:15, 7:20. So we've got about 30 minutes or less to prepare for that. So Appleton City, Montrose, now's the time to seek your tornado precautions as this storm gets closer. So again, the tornado warning here going until 7:30 for southern Henry County. Here's the storm, and as we put it into motion, it had a really noticeable notch as it passed over Interstate 49 near Rich Hill. And that notch is usually indicating that the storm is rotating, it's healthy, getting inflow, it's producing a funnel if not reaching the ground. And now as it's over Appleton City and nearing Montrose, it may be trying to recycle and try to form another tornado if it is not doing so already. And as we look at the winds on this storm, again, very strong. The rotation has remained very tight here, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is on the ground or about to be on the ground once again here with those wind speeds on our Fox 4 radar, say getting up to, we have a new radar scan here showing the velocity, which is why those numbers are a little low. So this here, just clicking near Hudson community, again, 90-mile-per-hour rotation. So again, this is going to be near Southwest County Road KK, Missouri Highway H through Montrose, Appleton City. You need to be in your tornado precaution right now. We're minutes away from the tornado moving through, if it is not already doing so, and it's approaching Missouri Highway 52 as well here in southern Henry County. Joe, Lauria, also keep an eye on this storm. Joe, have any more updates from the National Weather Service?
Yeah, so far quiet, but again, as you just illustrated for us, that's a pretty tight little circulation down there. And for the folks in Appleton City, you're now our main concern because the cell itself and the area of rotation is roughly 2 to 4 miles just towards your west-southwest. So you folks in Appleton City, please make sure you are taking cover from this storm. And again, use your safety plan that we've talked about off and on this evening. Interior room, basement, storm cellar if you have one, interior bathroom. I want you to be downstairs in your house, not upstairs. Those are all great ways to survive any possible tornado that may be coming your way. Again, tornado warnings continue for the southeastern and east central portion of Bates County, including southwestern and southern portions of Henry County. That includes Deepwater, Hudson, Montrose, and Rockville. That goes until 7:30. And again, for Appleton City, you too are under a tornado warning, and that's the main area of concern right now. And that goes until about 7:30 as well. All right, you folks up towards Ladue, all right, I want you to start paying attention to that cell. It may pass just to your south, but it's going to be a very close call. You folks in Deepwater, pay attention to what's going on off to your west. You folks in Montrose, I want you to be in your safe spot right now. Likewise, around the Appleton City area. This is the concern right now, is right in through here. All right, it's kind of tough to see. Maybe it's, I don't think it's right there. I think it's very close to Appleton City right now. But we've seen these storms kind of morph a little bit here over the last about half hour or so. Little areas of rotation seem to fade and then kind of get their act stronger together. And again, the strongest part of this thing is very close to Appleton City, heading off towards the east-northeast. So Montrose, Ladue, Deepwater, I want you to really pay attention to this cell as it continues to move off towards the east-northeast. I've been checking for some of our debris indicators, and I'm not seeing anything at this point. Doesn't mean that there's not a tornado on the ground, just means that radar is not showing it right now, or at least not showing debris that might be out there. Focusing more into Bates County from Butler down towards Rich Hill, you folks had one storm. It looks like this next cell will be passing just to your north and west. This will be taking more of an aim into Lone Oak. We'll need to watch that. That's kind of curious right there about maybe a little something trying there. So again, this I-49 corridor from Butler to Rich Hill, that's an area that we're going to watch, and that's going to continue to move up into Henry County over the next about hour or so. And just to kind of put all this back together again for you, for the metro itself, our risk of severe weather seems to be dropping by the minute. That's good for Kansas City. We'll keep an eye on the situation for tomorrow, particularly as we head towards late tomorrow into tomorrow night. All right, we might see some nighttime tornadoes or some spin-ups or something like that. And it looks like the situation on Sunday might be more of a focus for the first part of the day, and then maybe later on in the afternoon, the further east you get over onto the Missouri side. Jacob.
Okay, thanks, Joe. So again, watching our exclusive Fox 4 tornado predictor here that is still showing very high signals. We just got a report north of Rockton there in Appleton City, south of Appleton City, of a funnel cloud. And this is moving through towards Deepwater and Clinton here with a high chance for a tornado. And again, our Michelle Bogowith on this storm tracking now. Michelle, are we seeing any rotation yet from your vantage point?
All right, Jacob, I can tell you this much. We have noticed that this has been cycling through. It was very difficult for us to give you the view of what we were seeing just because of the tree line simply. But as our camera is pointed in the direction of that circulation that is up in between Hudson and Appleton City, lifting up towards Montrose, we are continuing to keep a very close eye on the skies. I have not seen any tornado. I have not necessarily seen a funnel cloud, but I have seen the lowering of the base of the cloud, giving us that wall cloud. We've watched it kind of cycle through, and that is a growing concern because this storm cell that we've been tracking since it was on the Kansas side of state line does have a reputation here of potentially dropping a tornado. It lifts and then we recycle through. So that's kind of what we're seeing and what we're watching right now as this is passing by just to the north of our location. We are going to continue to watch and monitor the circulation here, and we will let you know if we are able to visually get an eye on a wall cloud or a confirmed tornado. Until then, back to you guys.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Michelle. Yeah, for sure. Let us know as soon as you see any type of lowering or funnel cloud. It looks like it might be trying to cycle a little bit as the rotation starting to tighten up. So again, Michelle and Jerry in our Fox 4 Storm Chase Jeep in a safe location south of Appleton City, and they're looking north and west into this storm to show us the hail core. That was the rain shaft, the hail core you saw there, and the potential tornado that is embedded in that is about to move through Appleton City, Missouri, heading towards southern Henry County. So this tornado warning for southern Henry County, Montrose, Deepwater areas just south of Clinton, in effect until 7:30. And this storm is moving up here towards the east-northeast. I want to give you some updated ETAs of arrival for the core of this rotation. It's near Appleton City now. Deepwater in the next 15 minutes around 7:15, Bethlehem around 7:20, and Leesville around 7:35. And eventually, if this supercell holds together, which it might because it has been for the last 3 hours, it could be approaching Warsaw by 7:45 or so. They're off towards the west, or the east rather. So this is a storm we're going to keep an eye on here. Several maybe notches trying to form behind that. We're going to keep an eye on that as well. And then I just want to do a quick update back up towards the north where there has been some reported funnel clouds north of Maryville, but nothing confirmed. And those storms now starting to move away and up towards the Iowa state border. So that's good news here. We're keeping an eye on you, Maryville, Grant City. There's severe thunderstorm warning there, not a tornado threat though. And those storms are exiting here pretty quickly. Joe?
Yeah, the Skidmore folks, fire department up there are not reporting any damage in the Skidmore area. There was a brief touchdown, we believe, up towards the Skidmore area, but no damage reported, so that's certainly some good news. Again, the main concern is for parts of southern Henry County, northwestern portions of St. Clair County. So for you folks down to our south, this concerns you. Tornado warnings continue through 7:30 for Bates and Henry County. All right, that would include Deepwater. Again, you folks in Appleton City, I want you to be in your safe spot. Your tornado warning continues as well up until about 7:30 or so. And again, it looks like our circulation is right in through here, very close, if not on top of the Appleton City area. So you folks in Appleton City, give it about another 5 minutes or so, and you should be cleared from that particular part of the storm as it continues to move off towards the east-northeast. Looks like they are extending, I believe, this tornado warning for the southwest corner of Henry County. All right, that would include Montrose. Hopefully it passes just south of Montrose, but it's very close. Here's 52 Highway from Montrose to Deepwater. All right, that's an area that needs to be watched. All right, with this cell continuing to move off towards the east-northeast. The storm track for you basically has it on top of Appleton City in the next few minutes if it isn't already. Deepwater somewhere between about 7:20 and 7:30, and Bethlehem. All right, that would be a little further off towards the east-northeast into, let's call it southeastern, the southeastern corner, if you will, of Henry County. Bethlehem, you folks are under that gun until about 7:37. It's outside the tornado warning right now, but as we've been observing with this cell, it seems to have had a persistent rotation for at least the last hour, if not 2 hours. It has not produced a tornado that entire time, but it certainly has the ability of producing a tornado. So again, you folks in Appleton City, I want you to be taking cover from this storm. So again, a couple of tornado warnings continue, as well as this one up across the northwest corner of St. Clair County. If you live in Lowry City, this will pass to your north and west. But if you live in Deepwater, along that 52 highway area, if you will, down towards Appleton City, I want you folks to go ahead and be in your safe spot. There are some other cells on the back side of this, but right now we're not seeing indications of rotation at this point, although I wouldn't be shocked if some of those cells, they look pretty beefy. They might be producing some hail, and we've got a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for most of central and southern Bates County. So Bates County kind of getting it again in terms of maybe some hail production out of these storms. We've got that cell heading right towards that I-49 corridor. So from Butler to near Rich Hill, if not just north of Rich Hill, there could be some damaging hail. Jacob.
Okay, Joe, and I wanted to give an update on this tornado watch situation. We're now at 7 o'clock here and are watching Fox 4 storm coverage as we have a tornado warning down in Henry County and near just south of Clinton, Missouri. But here in the Kansas City metro, there's no active warnings. And actually, our western row of counties, Jefferson, Douglas, Franklin, Anderson counties, have been dropped from the tornado watch. Remember, through our afternoon and evening newscast, we were watching the area from Topeka to Emporia for possible storm formation. Well, the good news is they never formed and they never tracked towards the Kansas City metro. So though the environment remains possibility here for a tornado over the next 2 hours, that chance continues to diminish rapidly for Kansas City. So good news, we will likely continue to see this watch trimmed eventually over the next hour or two. So northwest Missouri, we had a confirmed tornado earlier in Skidmore that is lifted. The storms have now moved over into Iowa. So the one storm complex we're watching now is down here in Bates and Henry County, Butler to Clinton. And this is the tornado warning that we have in effect for Montrose, Ladue, Deepwater, areas just south of downtown Clinton, Missouri. So here's the tornado warning. It's split really between northern St. Clair, southern Henry. If there was a tornado on the ground, Michelle Bogowith was showing us a possible rotating wall cloud near Appleton City. It's going to be right on the county line between St. Clair and Henry. And this tornado warning here, the flashing red polygon, goes until 7:30. So if you're in Montrose, Deepwater, now is the time to take your tornado precautions. You need to move to an interior room away from exterior doors, windows, preferably a basement, maybe an interior closet or bathroom that has good structural integrity as this storm moves through in case the tornado touches down, which it could here at any moment as rotation remains here pretty strong. So it's moving up towards the north and west at about 50 miles per hour. And I want to put a storm track on this to show you where it's kind of headed. So the rotation right now near Appleton City, it's moving towards the east-northeast and getting some updated estimated times of arrival for you. Deepwater, 7:19 or so. So in the next 15-20 minutes, the core of the rotation will be probably right over Deepwater, passing just south of Clinton, Missouri. Bethlehem around 7:25, Leesville by 7:40, Warsaw by 7:45 to 7:50, and we'll continue to see if this storm continues to strengthen, rotate, if the National Weather Service extends this tornado warning further into Henry, maybe over towards Benton County as well. So now because rotation is continuing to kind of ebb and flow here, it's tightening up a little bit. I want to zoom in and show the tight rotation here that we have right over Appleton City. And this, again, is near Southwest County Road, KK, Missouri Avenue, just to the north and east here of Appleton City. And that's where we have the rotation, where our winds are moving away from the radar at about 34 miles per hour, moving toward the radar at 62 miles per hour. So again, doing the math, that's about 95 mile per hour rotation up in the mid-levels of the storm, and that could be producing a tornado on the ground as it is right near the county line of St. Clair and Henry County. So again, this storm is moving up towards the north and the east-northeast towards Deepwater. Deepwater, tornado precautions now, as this is going to kind of parallel Missouri 52 highway just on the south side of 52. Joe, any updates from the NWS on this storm?
So far quiet, and that's always good. Quiet is good. Again, this is radar indicated, so we haven't heard of any confirmed touchdowns since I believe the Rich Hill Fire Department reported something near the Rich Hill area. I think there might have been a brief touchdown near Rockville, Missouri, population of about 125, give or take. That would be off towards the Prairie City area of Missouri down there in Bates County, but no reports of anything on the ground right now in the viewing area, but we continue to have these tornado warnings that are in effect for areas south of Kansas City. We're also keeping an eye on these storms up across northern Missouri as well. So again, tornado warning, 7:30 will stay on the air at least until then, unless these warnings are canceled before that. Deepwater, Ladue, Montrose, you are in that tornado warning for Henry County, far southern Henry County. And for St. Clair County, again, Appleton City, still under that tornado warning. For Kansas City proper, yeah, we're doing fine. All right, we've got fair to partly cloudy skies right now. It's actually turning into a pretty good night. There's every indication that everything is going to split around the Kansas City area, and that's, for the metro, always a good thing. We'll keep an eye on radar just in case something crops up closer to town. But right now, there are no indications of anything like that happening. We'll take you down, though, where things are anything but quiet. And again, this would be southwestern portions now of Henry County and the extreme northwestern tip of St. Clair County. So basically from near Appleton City to Montrose, near Ladue, near Deepwater, that highway corridor right in there. There's Missouri 13, by the way. If you know anybody in the Clinton area, let's watch that, especially the south side of Clinton, all right, as you're heading on down towards the big cheese shop down there. Stop there all the time on my way down to the lake. Folks down there need to kind of watch that cell coming out of the Montrose area and heading into south central portions of Henry County. Again, the circulation would be right about there, give or take, near or just south of Montrose, heading towards Bethlehem by about 736 and Hortense by about 746 as well. So 736, 746, Deepwater 727. You folks in Deepwater, go ahead and take cover from that storm. But here are a couple of the cities. And again, it's still west of Missouri 13, hopefully passing south of Ladue, close to Montrose. Looks like the folks in Appleton City are just about in the clear. Just give it about another 5 minutes if you're in your safe spot, just to be on the safe side. And then you could go ahead and kind of get out of your safe spot and hopefully enjoy the rest of your evening. You could see the history of this. This is our rotation tracker. Basically, you know, Jacob's been showing you the circulation. Well, this particular product just kind of shows it to you on a broader scale and with a little bit more of a history. This is northwestern Vernon County. Here's I-49. There's Rich Hill. And again, we had a confirmed tornado near the Rich Hill area about an hour ago. And then it perked up again. That's probably pretty darn close to that Rockville, Missouri area. And then it kind of held on, but it's been sort of cycling, as Michelle has been pointing out to us with some of her live coverage, as she's been chasing that particular storm for quite some time. She started her chase way back over on the Kansas side, and she's been following this particular cell for the last couple of hours at the very least, maybe even a little bit longer than that. So again, for you folks in southwestern Henry County, northwestern portions of St. Clair County, we want you to be in your safe spot. The lowest level of your home, basement, storm cellar, probably the best places to be, definitely the best places to be. Interior rooms, if you have a bathroom that's in the middle part of your home, or an apartment, something like that, that's a fabulous place to be. A closet works out well. But regardless of where you go, make sure you're always on the lowest level of your home or apartment if you can. And for those of you in Kansas City, you're like, why are these guys still talking about storms that are 50, 60, 70 miles away? Well, just kind of remember some of these little tidbits in case we need to go ahead and put together a plan for tomorrow, because we'll have another threat of severe weather closer to home for tomorrow. You do need to get out of mobile homes. That's important. If your mobile home community has a community shelter, get into that right now if you can, if it's safe. If that storm is getting too close to you, hunker down. But boy, I hate the fact that if you're in a mobile home with a tornado coming your way. Worst case scenario, lying low in a ditch if you have to be outside. Kevin was asking me about that yesterday. So again, that's a worst case scenario, lying down in a ditch and covering your face with your hands. Again, a tornado watch continues for virtually the entire area, but not quite the entire area. More on that. Here's Jacob.
Yeah, that's right, Joe. So again, as our severe weather threat slowly diminishing for our western counties, the National Weather Service has dropped that watch from Douglas down through Ottawa and Garnett, Franklin and Anderson counties. It continues here for the KC Metro till 9 o'clock. Again, I think our severe threat is almost now to zero, as storms just have not formed at all. And Joe was mentioning we've got this severe weather threat ahead for us this weekend. And real quickly, I wanted to walk through that part of the forecast, since we probably still have so many people tuning in here from Kansas City Metro as well. So again, storms are ongoing here this evening down to the south, Butler, Clinton, Sedalia, Warsaw. That's kind of the severe threat that should end by 9 o'clock or so off to our south and east. Then we are quiet overnight, so you can go to bed peacefully tonight. No storms are expected, and we may wake up Saturday morning with some clouds or showers, but overall no storms expected for the first half of your Saturday. That's going to begin, say, after 5 p.m. or so tomorrow, with another threat through the morning Sunday into early Sunday afternoon. So for your Saturday, our temperatures are going to be warm again. We're going to be humid in the 70s. We get to 80 degrees. Most of the day, though, is dry. We have some peaks of sunshine. Again, from 4 o'clock onwards tomorrow, as in we'll have the best chance for thunderstorms. So through the afternoon here, we're going to have continued shower activity. Storms come in after dinner time. There's 8 o'clock. Mainly from the metro south. We continue with the chance for strong to severe storms. Probably not supercellular, more a line of damaging winds, maybe some hail or a brief spin up Saturday night. And then we'll have some storms in the area Sunday morning, with potentially by Sunday evening a few more cells trying to cause some gusty winds in here before we end that threat by Sunday night. So tomorrow evening, a level 3 severe weather risk for the metro. On Sunday, it's a level 2 severe weather risk. So we're going to continue to monitor the storm threat as we head into the weekend. For more on our current tornado warning situation, I'll send it back over to you, Joe.
Yeah, some good news for you folks down towards St. Clair County. St. Clair County, you have now been dropped from the tornado warning that was in effect until 7:30. So that tornado warning for St. Clair County has been canceled. The only tornado warning we've got right now is down across the southwestern portion of Henry County over on the Missouri side, and that's going to go up until about 7:30 or so. Hopefully we could drop it before that, but again, for you folks down towards Henry County, that's the main area of concern right now. We're talking roughly about 1,000 of our friends and neighbors down there that are under that tornado warning. It's radar indicated. Haven't had any reports of a tornado now, I want to say going on more than half an hour. If not close to 45 minutes or so. So that's certainly some good news. And I don't know, Jana in the back, if you could see if Michelle is available to us here pretty shortly. I'd like to go ahead and check back in with Michelle when she's available. Here's the storm down to our south. And again, for the metro, it does look like this is all going to stay north and south of the area. Last couple of days, I told you, I wouldn't be shocked if we didn't get a drop of rain. We had to be careful, though, because you take those storms and you put them right there, that's a big old issue for us. So, you know, we're just missing out as far as all this goes, but I don't think too many people around Kansas City are complaining about that. Here's the tornado warning down across south central and southwestern portions of Henry County. Here's Clinton. All right, so we're watching the Clinton area. All right, yeah, looks like it'll pass just to the south. And, you know, maybe if anything, it does not quite look quite as good from a circulation standpoint, at least from our reflectivities on rain, than it did just a little while ago. Yeah, there's still a circulation there. Let me go ahead and see if I could clear this out for you and maybe plot up another storm track for you as far as this goes. So we'll clear this out for you. And again, there's the circulation. It doesn't quite look as tight, but there's still definitely something there. That would be right on the highway between Montrose and Deepwater. All right, this is passing just south of Ladue. Here's the county line, by the way. So you folks, if you're watching, and I know we've got some viewers down in St. Clair County. I heard from a couple of you a few weeks ago asking more coverage for St. Clair County, please. We're trying to please. Lowry City, this is all passing to your north. The worst is over for Appleton City as well. So if you're in your safe spot in Appleton City, you can go ahead and come out of it. Likewise with Montrose. Keep in mind, there are some storms back in Bates County that are producing some hail. All right, so just keep in mind that those storms are moving off towards the east-northeast. All right, so Jen, I believe I heard you say Michelle is available. Yeah, let's go ahead and check in with Michelle Bogowith now. She's been chasing these storms now for the last several hours from Kansas onto Missouri. She's getting a full tour down towards the lakes. Michelle.
Sure am, Joe. And right now we felt that we were in a position to where we could start heading back up to the north. So now we are going north of Appleton City. We are just to the south of Montrose, and we can see that there is a lot of heavy rain tied to this storm. So our fear is that if there is in fact a tornado embedded in this activity, that it is going to be very, very difficult for us to see because it is likely rain-wrapped. So I can at least pass that information along right now. Where that circulation is, as I'm kind of looking at radar scope on my phone right now, that would be along 52 in between Montrose and Deepwater, as that looks to lift up towards Ladue and, you know, just south of the Clinton area. I can tell you the wind speeds are very strong. We do not have a visual confirmation of anything. We have seen this kind of recycle. We've seen a wall cloud drop, the potential for funnels, even a possible tornado. I know that we have had reports of tornadoes confirmed. I believe it was firefighters who confirmed that, or other emergency managers. But as we continue to track this and come in from the south side, we are just southwest now of where that circulation is and picking up on a lot of rain.
Okay, it appears that we've lost Michelle's signal. Not too surprising when you're down there in the hitherlands, if you will, trying to get cell signals and video signals back. But so far, so good. Now, I did see from my colleagues at the National Weather Service in Springfield down towards Collins, Missouri, that Troop A down there did report maybe something going on down there, possible funnel cloud that was trying to drop and lifted back up again. That's down there if you make that turn off and you're heading out towards the Camdenton area along 54 Highway. So that's just something to kind of file in the back of your mind for the folks down towards the far southern portion of our viewing area. And just to kind of reiterate a couple of things, again tomorrow we're keeping an eye on the potential of more tornadic weather. Whether it affects Kansas City or not, that's just kind of depends on how things set up. Tomorrow's kind of, in some ways, a more unstable day. I think temperatures will probably be closer to about 80, a little more fuel for the fire, if you will. But if we see some thunderstorms come through late morning, early afternoon, that may kind of mess things up. But if those storms don't come through, then as we head towards late tomorrow and especially tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, this could be a bigger issue, not only for Kansas City, but also for the Missouri side with some nocturnal thunderstorms. And we don't like the threat of severe weather in the middle of the night. So we're watching for that for tomorrow. On Sunday, the chances for the metro of having severe weather appear to be pretty small right now. But further east you get, there's going to be a higher chance of severe storms, especially in the afternoon. And for Monday, I think we're going to be just fine. Monday right now looks to be a beautiful day around the area. So again, our tornado warning continues. This is going to be down towards the south of Kansas City into Henry County, including Deepwater, including Ladue, hopefully passing south of you. It looks like the Montrose area now has been sort of cleared out for Kansas City proper, north, south, and that's what's going on right now. I even think far northern Missouri has been cleared from all the warnings as well. So here are your bigger storms. All right, we've got a new cell that's down there towards Linn County that's moving due east as well. Also another note, now that we're starting to see some training down towards Bates County, another cell in Linn County moving in the same general vicinity into Henry County, watch out for some flash flooding down there as well. A lot of heavy rains coming from these storms. But again, for Kansas City, I think we're fine. We're probably going to miss out on all the severe weather for this evening, and our window for severe weather is now quickly closing. So that's wonderful news for the heart of the metro. Again, for Henry County, though, here's Clinton. This is Highway 18. Kind of see it right in through there. Here's Missouri 7 heading towards Warsaw, and here's the storm in question. Still got a circulation on it, but you know, it's looked better. Let's just put it that way. I'd say probably about a half hour ago, it looked much better to me at least than it does right now, but we still have a circulation on it. We still are showing some signs of rotation approaching the Deepwater area, so I want you folks in Deepwater, go ahead and take cover. You can see the history of this thing. I mean, that thing goes all the way back towards the northwestern portion of Vernon County, and actually you cross over the border into Bourbon County, and it was rotating there as well. Our severe thunderstorm warning for essentially I-49, Passaic, Butler, Lone Elk, eastward, including Clinton, Calhoun, Leesville, the rest of Henry County. This is all for hail. Haven't seen any golf ball size hailstones, but I have gotten some pretty good indications that we're seeing at least quarter size hailstones, maybe something a little bit bigger than that. So again, just to go over a couple of safety things with our tornado warning continuing for southern Henry County. Worst place to be, mobile home, in a vehicle, under an overpass. Not good. All right, don't be under an overpass. That's pretty darn bad. Large rooms aren't great, including like gyms. Manufactured homes, not good either. All right, the better places, an interior room of some sort of sturdy building, a basement, a storm cellar. If your mobile home community has a storm shelter, jump for that. A FEMA safe room is the best place to be. anything that's underground, basement, cellar, bathroom, lowest part of your home or apartment complex, still the best place to be when we have tornadic thunderstorms heading into the area. Here's Jacob.
Okay, thanks, Joe. So again, we're continuing to watch this tornado warning, and I know that here in Kansas City we have quiet weather here this evening. The storms have not formed for the metro, but we have a lot of viewers down here in Clinton and Henry County, and we serve them as long as there's a tornado warning active, and this is active until 7:30. So we're going to continue to track this. Also, it's Friday night, right? As our friends maybe down near the lakes, near the reservoirs, is starting off their weekend. Deepwater, the Cooper Creek area is kind of in line for this, just south of Clinton along Missouri Highway 13. There was a brief notch here, and again, as Joe was mentioning, the fire department back in Appleton City reported that this tornado was touching down, then lifting, touching down. We call that cycling as it tries to, say, mature a little bit more, but it struggles to do so, so it kind of bounces along the ground. Here's the polygon, this tornado warning. Not many places included. Probably the most areas are going to be the campgrounds here along the lake from Deepwater up 13 Highway towards the south side of Clinton. South Highway T, Southwest 450th Road there in Henry County, and also 52 Highway. And we actually have Michelle Bogowith riding right now on 52 Highway, and this is kind of a neat view, I think, from the back side of this storm. I don't know if Michelle can hear us right now. Michelle, are you guys still approaching the storm from the back side?
Michelle,
Okay.
are you guys still approaching the storm from the back side?
Okay, Jacob, yes, we are. We are just to the southwest of where that circulation is as that moves towards Deepwater right now. So off on the left side of your screen, that is where the potential circulation is, but you will notice that it is very murky because there's a lot of rain tied to this, making it visibility a very, very big issue. So I do know that if there is in fact a funnel, a wall cloud, a tornado, we are not able to get a good visual on that currently because of the rain, the heavy rains that are coming down and tied to this storm system. But we are going to start to slowly kick back a little bit more to the east as we approach Deepwater here, and then we will start to come in behind that, lifting to the north along 13. So that is our target area right now, and hopefully we will be able to get eyes on something or some sort of visual to confirm what you all are seeing on radar as well as what we are seeing on the radar currently.
Great. Thanks, Michelle. Yeah, we appreciate you and Jerry out there doing a great job storm chasing and tracking these storms just so we have eyes on them. That's always really helpful to know if there's a tornado on the ground, what's going on as these storms track across areas south of the Kansas City metro. So again, they're kind of on 52 Highway looking into this storm. We also just got an update from our partners and colleagues down at the National Weather Service that they are planning to let this tornado warning expire at 7:30 when it's scheduled to do so, as long as rotation does not re-strengthen. So we hope that this trend continues. Joe and I have been showing you that, say, over the past 15-20 minutes, the rotation is a little bit weaker than it was. It looks like that this rotation may have peaked back near Rich Hill and Rockville, where it was actually reported on the ground for a while there in southeastern Bates County. So again, there were some purples in there. We had rotation over 100 miles per hour that I was showing you about 30-45 minutes ago. Now it's a little bit weaker and a little more broad, which is good news. It means the tornado is probably not on the ground right now, but the tornado warning continues from Deepwater up Highway 13 just to the south side of Clinton there on the Truman Reservoir as we continue to track this tornado warning. So again, this is kind of weakening. Hopefully that trend continues. Right now, though, the warning continues until 7:30. So a wider view of these storms shows that there are more storms behind this, back towards Butler, Mound City, Kansas. Those likely are not rotating. They could have some small hail, some lightning, gusty winds. Severe thunderstorm warning includes Clinton, maybe for some hail, but overall not really a rotating threat. And then as we take a wider view, again, here in the Kansas City metro, there's nothing. And that's going to be the case here as we head into this evening, and storms up across northern Missouri continue to exit. There's a tornado threat across the state line up in Iowa, several confirmed tornadoes there. Maryville, a couple rumbles of thunder, but no severe weather or tornado warnings for you. So we still have this lone tornado warning for, say, about 5 more minutes, Joe, and it looks like it continues to maybe weaken or broaden out a little bit.
Yeah, and that's really just a great sign that'll hopefully keep the folks down there more on the safe side. Just don't let your guard down for the potential of some gusty winds, although we haven't really seen any stronger wind reports out of any of these cells. We have seen some hail reports, but nothing too extravagant. Tell you what, though, if you know anybody up in that Lincoln, Nebraska area, Omaha, Nebraska area, around Elkhorn, it's been a bad afternoon up there. Some really bad tornadoes. The ones that almost look like they're out of the Wizard of Oz, not good. So we'll have more coverage as far as the situation goes up in Nebraska during Fox 4 News at 9 o'clock. But again, we'll continue to stay on the air for the next about 4.5 minutes just because of that cell down across south central Henry County. And again, our colleagues down at the National Weather Service, they are indicating to us that unless something fundamentally changes with that cell in the next 5 minutes, they're going to let this warning probably pass by the wayside. We'll keep an eye into Benton County as well, because then it'll transfer over to my colleagues down at the National Weather Service in Springfield, and we'll see what Springfield wants to do with the cell as it enters Benton County. So for you folks around Cole Camp and Warsaw, just, pay attention to this just in case. Hopefully it looks like it'll pass north of Warsaw, but for you folks in Cole Camp, it's a long ways away from you right now. But just pay attention to it as that storm gets a little bit closer. That area that's highlighted for you in red represents our tornado warning. And again, this is for south central Henry County. But the area that is kind of covered, all encompassing for Bates County and most of Henry County, that represents a severe thunderstorm warning, and hail seems to be the main issue. Again, the circulation itself has really broadened out. It's not focused, all right? You're not seeing the red and green pixels be tightly focused, if you will. So that's great news from a radar standpoint. That just tells us that the circulation has really broadened out and hopefully, probably not producing a tornado at this point. Not to say that you folks in Bethlehem need to ignore it, all right? You're technically not in that tornado warning anymore. So, just pay attention, just be aware of the changing weather. It'll be coming your way here in the next few minutes. Hopefully, you folks in Leesville and Tightwad, as we get closer into the Lakes region, won't have to deal with anything really bad, but there still could be maybe some gusty winds, maybe some hail from some of this. Meanwhile, the further west you go into Bates County, it's been kind of an adventurous last couple of hours for Bates County, initially for southern Bates County, and now with some hail, probably quarter size. Guess I wouldn't be shocked if there was something a little bit bigger than that, but so far we haven't really gotten, like I said, too many hail reports of any significant size aside from maybe quarters, maybe something a little bit bigger than that. But again, for you folks down there, you are still under a severe thunderstorm warning. Again, the hail core seems to be, if you draw a little triangle between Butler and Lone Oak, there's your little hail core, and it's, probably approaching, maybe somewhere around an inch, perhaps. That's right along 52 Highway. So some hail coming from these storms, but for the most part, I think we're looking pretty good. I want to take you back over into Lynn County, and this is for 69 Highway. This is over on the Kansas side, Pleasanton. This is just apparently a garden variety thunderstorm, and we're not even getting that much lightning with it. So I just wanted to bring the folks up in Lynn County a little information as far as that goes. There's Mound City, Pleasanton, 69 Highway corridor, just a brief heavy downpour. This will be heading towards Amoret. Again, not severe at this point, and we'll hopefully keep it not severe for the remainder of the evening. Here's that rotation, though. We've been showing you the history of this over the last couple of minutes, or last couple of hours, I should say. And it was producing. I mean, we got a report from the Rich Hill Fire Department, tornado on the ground. May have seen some up and down funnel clouds, perhaps a brief touchdown as well, over towards Rockville. No reports of anything too bad in Appleton City. There might have been some funnel clouds around Appleton City. And then the rotation now is off towards the Deepwater area, and it appears to be weakening, and that's one of the best things about this. Tell you what, even though we still have about another minute to go with this tornado warning, I think we're going to go ahead and just send it back to programming. Again, we're not seeing any signs of any more significant rotation with this in terms of anything being really focused. So with that said, Let's go ahead and send you back to programming right now, and hopefully we won't see you again until Fox 4 News tonight at 9 o'clock.